Tommy Avalone is a filmmaker. He made a documentary about Bill Murray. He did a documentary called I Am Santa Claus with Mick Foley in it. There's a watch party on the Film Threat YouTube channel with Mick Foley that you can see. He did our I Am Santa Claus. Mick Foley did our I Am Santa Claus watch party with us. So check out Tommy Avalone's I Am Santa Claus. And Tommy Avalone is just an amazingly prolific independent documentary filmmaker. He made this, it's a 2-part series he made for Hulu called I Love You, You Hate Me, and it's about Barney. It's part like weird Member Berries pop culture documentary, sort of set in the late 80s, 90s, mixed with a true crime story. You discover through the viewing of the 2 episodes, it's like about 2 hours total in 2 parts of this show. You meet the woman who is the creator of Barney. She was a woman, a family, a mother from Texas who had a young son who she wanted to entertain, and she came up with the idea for Barney the dinosaur, a purple friendly dinosaur to entertain her young son, and she developed it into a local television show that then got picked up by PBS and became a huge phenomenon. That she licensed Barney to be used for a traveling musical show for children, to merchandise, to videos that were sold on VHS. She became worth hundreds of millions of dollars from Barney, but horrible things happen. There is a shooting involving her son. There is horrific thing. It tore apart her family. You meet the people behind the scenes who worked on Barney the dinosaur that are just proud of their achievement. The actor who was a dancer who was in the Barney costume was different from the person who did the voice, but this actor just put so much into it. Like, you really do have to appreciate that he put this much into a show for single-digit age kids. Now, what the show then devolves into is how much people hated Barney. There was like an I Hate Barney the Dinosaur fan club. There were I Hate Barney parties. There were like incidents where like a mascot for a baseball team beat up Barney the dinosaur as like a bit, right, on television, which resulted in a lawsuit. This documentary, you start watching the first 5 minutes of this thing, you will be riveted. And what the documentary goes into as it gets to I don't want to give too much away about the doc because I was shocked. And on a personal note, I hated Barney the dinosaur. I hated Barney the dinosaur, not because my kids were the right age when Barney the dinosaur was around in the 90s. So I had those videos. I don't think I ever watched a show, but it was on in the background, and the shrill sound of Barney the dinosaur's voice, "Hey kids," it reminded me of, this is why I think people didn't like Jar Jar in Star Wars Episode 1, is Jar Jar kind of reminded me of Barney the dinosaur. This annoying character with an annoying voice. And it's interesting because they even like draw an analogy between like a culture of just sort of people just sort of just being like just, you know, cynical about everything, right? And sort of Barney the dinosaur was kind of the beginning of people just cynical online culture. And I can kind of see some of it. I don't completely agree with everything that is at the end of the film. But I'll say that this is an epic documentary spanning decades and it totally leans into the fact that people could not stand Barney the dinosaur. I love this doc series. This is like a home run for Tommy. We're going to have him on shortly to interview him about the documentary series. And I got to say, I can't recommend this enough. So this is also a movie that could have been released theatrically. Maybe if they cut a 90-minute version of it. The true crime stuff that comes in at the end is just like, someone's gonna get the rights to tell this as like a narrative film. I could definitely see like an Andrew Garfield starring in this or something and doing like the real life story. But oh my God, this series is fantastic.
So I'm confused. Is the movie about what happened to the creator and her family, or is it about the hatred that the public had toward
all
Barney?
of it? All of it. It's the entire story of Barney the dinosaur. It's about the woman who created it and the people behind the scenes and the sort of rise of the popularity and then the fall of the franchise. And then it's simultaneously about people hated Barney. So like there were all these, which kind of fueled people like, the kids that were watching the show were completely unaware of the fact that college kids were having parties where they were taking baseball bats and shotguns to Barney stuffed animals. So it's like you've got this one sort of like this sort of, we've seen the story before, like the rise, like, oh my gosh, they're making money and it's popular. And there's a woman who gets the rights to Barney the dinosaur to do official children's birthday parties where someone in a costume will come to your kid's birthday party as Barney. And she got the franchise rights to do that. She got the license. And just so it's like you've got these two parallel stories, the love of Barney and its popularity with kids simultaneously with everyone who couldn't stand Barney. And then how that sort of ties into a cynical people online just hating on a lot of different things. I like that aspect. You could see that. There's even a little side thing about Jake Lloyd and just a lot of, it's really, really interesting. I know Tommy even tried to interview Ahmed Best because I talked to him about it, who played Jar Jar, of course, and whatnot. But like, this is a great.
How did Jar Jar get involved in the Barney story?
No, it's just that it's similar
for hatred, fan hatred,
for fan hatred.
Yeah.
So it's a great doc series. Cannot recommend it enough. Alan, what did you think?
I didn't see it. I let my Hulu subscription lapse.
Oh well,
I haven't seen
that on you. But look, if you already have a Hulu subscription, it's on there. I don't know that they're going to be promoting it, so
they won't.
This is me telling you, hey, because there's a lot of like true crime stuff that turns up on Netflix and stuff. It's all kind of the same, but this is like a mix of true crime, but then also a mix of like this rise, from rags to riches story, like a Horatio Alger-esque story, along with like this bizarre sort of member berries from the 90s. There's a lot of 90s stuff in this. So I really love this doc series and I strongly recommend it.